Welcome back, traders. You probably heard that backtesting is a really good practice when learning how to trade a strategy. I'm here to tell you that it's not only a really good idea, but one of the best practices you can do to build confidence in your strategy and develop your trading skills. The purpose of backtesting is to take a strategy and track how it performs over a period of time in the past. This will give us an idea of how the trade unfolds, such as how long a typical losing streak lasts, how much you can expect to return over the course of a month, and what times are best to trade. Most importantly, when you realize that you can return a decent amount of profit despite the losing streaks and the days without a single trading signal, you'll be more willing to take your stop losses and stay out of trades that don't follow your rules because you have an empirical, evidence-based knowledge of the way your trade works. There's software out there that can do this for you, but letting a machine quickly compute a cold statistic won't make a psychological impact on you the way mechanically backtesting an idea will. I absolutely love backtesting. It's one of those projects that you can do over a period of a couple of evenings or during the weekend when markets are closed. You can make a fun event out of it by putting on some good music, getting a treat to eat or drink, and if you're lucky enough to have someone close to you who also trades, you can work on this project together. I hope you will come to love backtesting as much as I do. If you've never backtested before, the process can feel a bit clunky at first. You might make mistakes and forget to record information, or you may misrecord data. You'll definitely get the hang of it by regularly backtesting ideas or any changes you want to make to a strategy. In time, you may even find that you'll be able to come up with your own strategies that you'll know will profit or not because you were able to backtest them for that reference. To make this learning process smoother, we'll go over 5 steps you can take to backtest the Discipline FX scalping strategy. First, pull up your trading chart. We're going to backtest on the 15-minute chart, which only goes back about a year in time on the Wanda platform. Depending on the service you use, you may be able to go back further than this. Step 1, clarify your plan. Before we backtest, we need to know 2 things. Number 1, the strategy or rules we're testing, and number 2, the data we want to capture. When backtesting a strategy, we want to get trade information only from the setups that meet our exact criteria. Therefore, keep a list of the strategy's rules in front of you while you backtest. You'll find a list of rules for the Discipline FX scalping strategy on the downloadable PDF linked to this lesson. Save or print out this document to keep in front of you when you are deciding where to gather data on the charts. Your backtesting session should mirror the exact parameters of your real-time trading session. So if you only trade 2 hours in the morning, make sure you're gathering data only at that time of day. Be sure to go over the rules and parameters a couple of times to make sure you understand how the trade works. Next, we're going to go over what kind of information you want to track from your backtesting session. This will include the date of the trade, the time you would have entered and exited the trade, how many pips won or lost, and the ratio of that win or loss to how many pips you risk each trade. We'll call this risk ratio R. So for example, with our Discipline FX scalping strategy, if we see an ATR of 8, we add 2 pips as a buffer and risk 10 pips. If a single trade hits the 10 pip stop loss, then we would record -1 under R to indicate that we lost an amount equal to our risk. If the same trade actually won 13 pips, then we would put 1.3 for R since we won 1.3 times the amount we risked. The date, time, pips won or lost, and the size of R is the absolute minimum you can use to get an idea of how the trade performs. You can include any additional information you find useful, such as the price of entry and exit, or whether the market was trending up, down, or sideways, or if there was a news event involved. We will also record the ATR at the time of entry and the pair we used. I recommend splitting up your backtest of different pairs so that you can keep them organized and analyze each one on their own. Step 2, set up your tools. The tools we'll be using for the backtest include a trading chart, whether from your actual brokerage firm or a service like TradingView, and a logbook. The trading chart should be set to look like how you would trade during a live session. So use the same indicators, time frame, and currency pair you will be using to trade as described in our lesson on how to set up your charts. As for the logbook, I am biased towards using Google Sheets because it's simple and free, but you can set up any documentation software or a physical journal should you prefer something else. However, using something like Sheets or Excel helps with making quick calculations when you're done backtesting and need to analyze your results. You can find a copy of a backtesting log template for this strategy on this lesson page for download as well. As you can see here, we have a list of rules, a name for which currency pair is being backtested, a column for the date, time, ATR, pips won or loss, and R ratio. After I backtest, I also like to break up the trades into their respective weeks. Now that everything is set, grab a snack, your favorite playlist, and let's get started. Step 3, track your trades. Depending on how far back your chart goes, you're going to pick a time frame to backtest. For this example, we're going to look at data from August 2021 for the Aussie dollar, trading between 8:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is just a demo, but a thorough sample is ideally 100 trades or more. If you can go further back on your charts, getting data from 3 different months of 3 different quarters or years would help paint a long-term picture for this strategy.